So here is the frame, how it arrived, ready for some building treatment. One thing that I really like about the frame is that the dropper post cables are really easy to put through. So you've got these plates here, you just unscrew them and put your cable through and then feed the plate on. It's really easy to feed the cable through and fish it out at all the other places. And they do supply some blanking ones, so if you're not going to run a dropper post, you can just blank those off so there's no holes. Just give you a close-up so you can see they're angled. They're angled the way it needs to be to make that to make the cable run through there nicely. So that's a nice feature about the frame. Yeah, it's lovely. Nice and light, looking good. Boom. Let's get this built up. Another thing I forgot to mention is that you can specify when you're ordering if you want boost 148 or if you want 142. They call the dropouts swap outs. So you've got some options there as well. For me as well, I really like the way the cables run. You just run them across the top and then down each seat stay. Nice and symmetrical. I do have one going down the middle there, so run a front derailleur, which is a nice feature nowadays. Okay, so what's going on in the kitchen / workshop at the moment? Let me show you. So I had these carbon whiskey wheels with the 3-inch Terravale Cornado tyres, 3-inch wide, and these carbon rims. So I had those. I had these forks, pipe forks, untouched. The wheels had been used. And what else did I have? I had the Santa Cruz carbon bars from when I had my Santa Cruz Tallboy, and I had this Crank Brothers dropper post, all lying around, not doing anything. And yes, I could have put them on T-Bay, but I was missing just a fun bike to be messing around on. So I went and got the Stanton Sherpa, put this stuff on. So as you can see, I've put on the Hope headset. I've put the forks in just temporarily. Need to work out where I'm going to cut that fork down. The seat post was just a different diameter to what was on the bike, but that wasn't a problem because I don't know if you can see there, I just bought a shim. So now it means I can reuse that seat post, which is absolutely brilliant. So my next stages. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this White Industries crank and bottom bracket off this bike. I'm going to take the derailleur, the chain, and the cassette. I have got a spare cassette upstairs, but because this has all been bedded in nicely together, I'm going to take all that off this bike and put it on that bike. Then on this bike, what I'm going to do, and remember, I don't use index shifting, so it's going to be the friction shifter, the Microshift friction shifter on there. Don't believe in indexed gears one bit, don't see the point. And then what's going to go on this bike is this Middleburn crank, which has the spider set up for Gates carbon drive. So what I'm going to do then, so I just need to get a bottom bracket for that. What I'm going to do then is eventually this is going to have a Gates carbon drive going to a Rohloff and flat bars. The flat bars I already have as well. There they are. So the big expense for that bike would be a Rohloff and the Gates carbon, but that's in the future. So for now, it's a case of taking what I have off there, putting it on there, and the job's a good one. Once I've got a bottom bracket for this though, I can use this bike until I can get a Rohloff, because I'll just get a normal chain ring to go into into the bolts there and just run it with a chain and a normal derailleur for now. But that's the plan. So then this will be set up nicely as my touring bike and bikepacking bike. This one will be my fun bike for messing around on the trails, but will also make a brilliant bikepacking bike for shorter trips because it doesn't have any rack mounts or anything like that, but for shorter trips can put some soft bags on that and that will be amazing. So that's the plan. I'm not going to go into the technical ways now of taking stuff off and putting it on because I've done all that in other videos. This is just a quick, this is what I'm doing, this is where we're at. I forgot to mention I also have these Hope brakes. I also have these lying around. Removing the White Industries crank is easy. Just turn that counterclockwise, it will push on the brass ring and then pop that off the square tape. Okay, quick review of where I'm up to. I've taken the White Industries crank and square taper bottom bracket off there, taken the rear mech and chain off, put the cassette that I had on, had spare on there. So eventually, like I say, I'll just get that running nice and cheaply with, I might even go 2x temporarily on the front there because I run friction shifters. It's not too much of a problem finding bits to do that. And so all the bits are there, just going to give them a bit of a clean. This is just going to go away now until I get the other bits. I need to fix this tyre because when we did that last tour in Wissenberg, I got a puncture and it did last out for a while, but it's gone completely. So I've got some stuff to put a patch on the back of that tyre when I take it off, but I'll just leave that for the moment. In fact, I might take these bars off now and put on the flat bars, and then I could get those on eBay. But just going to clean all this stuff up. There's the bottom bracket and then get it all put on there. So here you can see it is built up nicely. Here is the close-up of the friction shifter, and you can see that little red dot. That's what you twist round if you want it in friction mode or in indexed mode. These Shimano dropper post levers are brilliant. They are so cheap and they really work really well. There's the close-up of the square taper bottom bracket and crank from White Industries. The rear mech and cassette, which I took off my Fargo. The dynamo hub, which is good for powering battery packs and charging stuff up, and also for lights. The DT Swiss hub and the Hope brake caliper looking good. You can see here that there is masses of tyre clearance. This is with the 3-inch 27.5 tyre. Well, that's it, done. The Stanton Sherpa. Just a bit of a recap then. So the cassette, the derailleur, the crank, the bottom bracket, the chain, that was all taken from, and the Microshift friction shifter or index, whichever one you want to do it on. Just flip that switch there. That was all taken from the Fargo. The dropper post, the forks, wheels and brakes were all kicking about upstairs. The only thing that's new is a little shim in there so I could use the seat post that I had. On the handlebars, the carbon handlebars, yep, those were kicking about upstairs as well. Those were off my Santa Cruz Tallboy. So, yep, let's just take it for a little spin. So it feels great being on a mountain bike again, I can tell you that. By the way, just weighed this with a water bottle off, but with the cage on and all the little gubbins on the bars there. Came in at 12.6 kilograms, which, considering it's got big 3-inch tyres, I don't think that is at all bad at all. So what do I need to do to it? I just need to raise the saddle a little bit. It's maybe an inch or two a bit too short. I just hope I have enough cable out to cope with that. And then I need to reduce the brake cables. But yeah, really sweet. Glad to be on a mountain bike again. Yeah, so although my Salsa Fargo is, you could call it, well, it is a mountain bike, It does have the rigid forks, and it's just a touch not as slack as this, and it is nice just being able to just think, do you know what, I'm just going to let this rip downhill and not worry about where these wheels bounce around. Good fun, good fun. The Salsa Fargo is going to get the Rohloff Gates belt drive treatment, and that's going to be my road and off-road touring machine, the ultimate touring machine. Loving it. It's going to be good fun. And I just thought I'd leave you with some pictures of the second ride that I did on a lovely day in Calderdale. So this is up Sorby in West Yorkshire.